This is exit planning at established first line of defense. So usually when you are exiting a relationship and you have some time to think about the previous relationship, a lot of times what people do is they think, okay, I need an ego boost, a self-esteem boost. So I'm going to go to the club, maybe meet somebody, maybe have sex with somebody, and then everything will be all right. My option would be to go on house arrest. A lot of people don't like that, right? Because they feel like they are in jail. But a lot of times when you are vulnerable, you make the worst decisions, especially when there are issues with matters of the heart. And you need to take some time to self-reflect so you can address the previous rhythm that you were in, especially if that rhythm was an abusive rhythm, was an abusive a habit. Because remember, the abuser is always training you in their university, right? Even if it's just cheating, they are training you how to basically support their ideals. And if it's just one cheating incident and the person apologizes and doesn't do it again, okay, that might be okay to take them back. But if a person continues to cheat and perpetuates cheating, that's no longer a struggle. That is actually a lifestyle. So then they are adopting or adapting you to their lifestyle, which really translates as to their rhythm. So then if you go on house arrest, it'll allow you some time to think about the rhythm of the relationship. How every time he cheated, he left, was gone for a weekend, then came back and you took him back in. Y'all had sex, and then everything was okay for a good 2 weeks or so, and then the cycle just repeated itself. And then y'all had arguments. He lied. You might have said some things to him, and it's a whole new thing again in 2 weeks after that. That's a rhythm. So going on house arrest will allow you now to create a new rhythm for your life, because remember, you still have to live your life as an adult. So go on house arrest. Get past the 30 days. So those first 30 days that you are struggling, uh, after a breakup, and remember, a lot of times when you kick somebody out, you're still operating in anger. From my experience, for the first 6 months or so, I was still operating in anger. So it was easy for me not to answer the phone. It was easy for me to uh, block him or anything like that. But if you get past the 30 days, it will allow you to assess your vulnerabilities. So I didn't immediately not answer the phone. I still, there were maybe like a few times where I answered the phone because I was trying to tell him not to call me anymore. But all that did was fuel the fire in him to keep calling. So then I ended up having to take the phone off the hook. And then because I did not want him to call my cell phone and send me long messages, text messages, I went on ahead and changed the number. And then eventually I went on ahead and blocked him on email and social media, right? And so, but I was vulnerable in that time, because even when you are breaking up with somebody, your heart still wants to be with that person. Your mind is telling you you need to let them go for good, but your heart still wants to try to make sense of everything. And sure, I know we can work this out. Sometimes he's stupid, and maybe I just need to be a little less critical, right? Okay, reasoning and going against your own logic is actually your opportunity to assess your vulnerabilities. That is your vulnerability. You trying to reason something that is clear as if it is not clear. That is what it is, meaning that uh, what Maya Angelou says, people show you who they are, so believe them. So the person is telling you who he is. He didn't cheat just one time. He cheated multiple times, and you still took him back. That's the vulnerability. Answering the phone, answering the door, even chit-chatting. And it depends on what kind of adjacency he has to you. I don't know if he's a fellow co-worker. It would definitely be hard to navigate that. If you share the same lunch hour or something like that. That's why I don't like to date people at the job, because I can't have anyone getting in the way of my job. But get past the 30 days, you may have to journal so you can look at where you are vulnerable. Assess at 90 days, so you want to assess your anger. And assessing your anger is really two-part. You're looking at his contribution, but you're also looking at your contribution, and mainly you're looking at why you stayed so long, why you accepting him back so quickly. That movie, 50 Shades of Grey. At the end, the two characters, they break up. But then the second part of that series, Anna is at a artist showing of her friends, and Christian shows up at the gallery, and he asks that they go out and go have a talk or something like that at a little coffee shop. And then somehow it led to him taking her back home and then them getting back together that very same night. And when I looked at that, I thought to myself, she should have held out a little longer. He turned out to, act right and be right and, do things right. But sometimes you can give in too quickly. Sometimes you can wait too long, and sometimes you can give in too quickly, because then they like to be affirmed. Men like to be affirmed in their ego about, I can always get her back anytime I want. And certain types of women are like that too, who are extremely manipulative. I can always get him back anytime I want. I can call anytime I want, and I know he'll come running, right? That's why you shouldn't always go back too soon, right? And you need to assess your anger, because sometimes you cannot always address how you truly feel with the person, because they don't always have the capacity to hear you when you hurt. They only have enough capacity, and they're only willing to give enough capacity at that moment. That's why men don't always like women pulling something up from a year before, right? So if you're going to address any anger, sometimes you may have to address that anger on your own. Exit the cheater. So recognize that cheating is a lifestyle, and this is important. Again, your cheater, whoever it is, it depends on what his ideology is. If you hear a man saying, "You know how I am. You know how I am. This is how I've been. You knew who I was when you married me," that person is telling you he's not going to change. Period. And I'm talking about cheating now. I'm not talking about just, maybe other types of situations where you just may have to work it out. But I'm talking about cheating, because when a person cheats, when he brings his body back into the house from cheating, that body has all kinds of spirits. It has all kinds of fluids from the previous partner. It may have some disease. It definitely is going to have some mental, psychological issues, because spirits transfer, and whatever is going on with that woman is going to be on the inside of him. And so now he's bringing that in the house. Then you have on top of you everything that you struggle with, all your issues, all your spirits, your depressions, your hurt and pain and anger, and vulnerability. So you have all of that. So now there's a clash between himself and what he is bringing back to the house, and you. And the most important thing that you need to understand, when he knocks at the door, when you answer the door, and remember, you don't have to answer the door, but when you answer the door, you are making a choice right there to answer the door. Now, he hasn't stepped into the house yet, but you have turned the knob, opened the door, and allowed him to talk. But in that moment is really your crossroad, your first crossroad moment. There may be an ultimate crossroad moment, but that's your first crossroad moment. Do you want to go down the road of a person who is adopting cheating as a lifestyle? That's your crossroad moment. Or do you want to wait and get somebody who is better for you, can be the best that person can be for himself in his own life? Would you rather go down that road? And that's where you have to make a decision, where you are both standing in the doorway of that door, and you have to make a decision about whether or not you're going to completely open that door and let him in, because then you are letting in cheating as a lifestyle. Let the cheater feel the pain of loss. So let the cheater take responsibility for his decision. When you open that door, you are automatically taking responsibility for his decision making to cheat. So he's not feeling any loss because you opened the door. He got the best of both worlds. He can have a relationship with you. You do all of your wifely duties, even as a girlfriend. Then he can go out and cheat. And then he can turn around and come right back into the house and still be able to receive the benefits of relationship making. So cheaters need to feel the pain of loss. That's why I think people continue to cheat, because women and men take back the cheater too fast. I don't think, I've said and I've come to an understanding, you can't leave everybody. At some point, you may have to endure a process with that person who is struggling with cheating, if they're struggling. But when they cheat the first time, I think you should let them go. Because it takes a long time to cheat. To plan cheating. You visualize, you think about options, you think about time, you think about where, you think about the location, you think about all different times. It's not just a slip. I know we like to believe that it's a slip, but it's not just a slip. It takes a whole lot of visualizing the cheating before you actually cheat. So let the person feel the pain of loss, because as long as they're cheating, they don't feel like they are losing you. In fact, it seems like to them, in their weird logic, that the more they cheat, the more you stay. The more they get you back, the more they keep you. But if they felt like they were losing you, I don't think they would cheat. So let the cheater take responsibility for his decision. Do not rescue the cheater. Money cannot solve the problem. So a lot of times we throw either sex at the problem as a solution, or we throw money at the problem. And each situation is different. Say for instance, the cheater lost his job, right? Okay. Well, and think about if that person lost his job fooling around with some woman at the job. Okay, then he needs to take care of himself. He needs to go and live with the woman that he cheated with, who he cheated with. Why would you then now continue to take care of him financially? Oh, he needs some money for this. Oh, he needs some. I don't have a job. Yeah, but you lost a job because you were cheating with some woman at the job. Okay, at some point we got to let people do what they feel like they want to do, and leave them alone, and not rescue them with money and sex. So do not rescue the cheater. Let a cheater hit rock bottom. Let him call what he does an addiction, if it is. And that's the problem that I think we often have, that we call something a problem that they don't call a problem. It's not, their cheating is not a problem. For them, it's a solution. So then how long are you going to stay in that situation? How long are you going to continue to open the door? Because what he's doing is not an addiction. You see it, you perceive it as that. That is your perspective, but it is not their perspective. And so the best way to handle this situation is to exit. Let him hit rock bottom. Because until he comes to himself and realizes that what he's been doing is negatively affecting his life, his relationships, his money, his mind, Until he does that, all you're going to end up doing is losing on your end, your mind, your body, your finances, your mental, sanity. So let a cheater hit rock bottom. All right, hopefully you were able to gain some insight from this brief lecture. Please like the video and subscribe. You may visit my website for more content. Send me an email and I will reply. Any reference to books will be available on Amazon Spring 2021. Thank you for visiting the channel.